What's up, Move Nation? This is Jonathan, come to you from Move Remote HQ. That is the desk in my house. Recently, I got to sit down with Coach Eddie, aka DFly, aka Coach Nurse, aka 3%. We all know him. We all love him. I got to talk to him. And he had just gotten off of a 12-hour shift at the hospital. And we just talked a little bit about how he started with CrossFit and his thoughts on fitness and stress and what's going on now amidst all the COVID stuff that he's dealing with at the hospital. So it was just a cool little conversation to have, and I really appreciate him taking a break to talk with me. I hope you guys enjoy it. Take a listen.
Come on, man.
I appreciate you coming on, and I'm hoping you can just tell me a little bit about your history. So like where you grew up and how fitness impacted you and what that kind of means to you today.
Yeah. So I grew up in Miami, Coconut Grove, to be more specific. So as a kid, I was child asthmatic, so I didn't do too many sports for too long. It was like, my sport was football or whatever, or track, but those sports tend to be, they were outside, and of course football was like the fall and track was like early spring, so the weather, if it was too cold and my lungs get hit with that cool air, I used to have a lot of asthma attacks. So, but then at about 9 years old, I think I grew out of like the whole child asthmatic thing. And I was basically got into sports chasing behind my brothers, trying to be as cool as them or as good as them, landing a scholarship and everything to play in Kansas. But then, post football, I kind of went through like a whole depression from, being separated from football. And then I found CrossFit in Miami. And when I found that, that's when it's like the whole competitive edge, it reminded me a lot of football, or, just the whole competition factor. And so that's when I fell in love with it. And then just like with anything, after a while, you kind of, start going through the motions a little bit. But what inspires me, because you get tired of sometimes with things, but what inspires me to keep moving, because my family history is a lot of people. Like, for instance, my dad, he just passed away last year. And he was diabetic, heart failure, kidney failure. And then my mom, she's obese and she's pre-diabetes and, hypertension and everything. So it's like those genetic dispositions like put me in a bad shape. So like I got to exercise or I'm gonna be in trouble, And like I noticed big time now with this whole COVID thing, is that if I don't exercise, I get cranky. It's like that coffee. I need to have that
Right.
sip, And I guess I've been so leaning on CrossFit for so long and trying to, just trying to do these workouts on my own. Now I'm like, damn, all right, I'll do it later. Or I don't want to do it, It's like I need that whole structure, of CrossFit and that time frame and the group of people and, the coaching, so.
That might surprise people because I feel like you'll go and work a 12-hour shift, and then I'll see you at the gym at sometimes 5 in the morning, sometimes 9 in the morning, but you always hit a workout, and then sometimes you'll even coach after that, so it seems like, to me, and maybe even to other people, that you have a hang on that stuff, you have a handle on it. So with all of your responsibilities and with all the pressure and all these variables in your life, how do you manage to get that workout in?
And as you probably witnessed, sometimes if I sit on that floor after a shift, I be asleep. But it's like, I just tell myself if I just can get in there, just put myself in the building, and just motivate myself to move, and also coming off from 12-hour shifts, a lot of times, I have patients that they probably wish they would have exercised in their life. So I look at them and I use them as my motivation along with, like I said, my family's tree like puts me in a bad position, So it's like, all right, you need to go work out or you're gonna end up like, patient X over here.
You get a little bit of fresh motivation every day.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I first met you around April 2011, and I remember that because it was a pretty crazy time for us because we were going through the CrossFit Open at the time, and we were preparing for regionals as well, which was the next month. And then we were also in the middle of moving our gym from New Street over to Laredo. I don't know what you remember about that, but maybe you can tell me what it was like to meet us, why you decided to come to CFED or move, and kind of what you remember from that time.
As you already know, I moved up to Atlanta because of my now wife. But I met her in 2009, and then I finally moved to Atlanta in 2011. And like when I was visiting her from like 2009 until 2011, like I used to drop in to when you guys was over at New Street. Then I found out you guys were moving. I'm just like, oh shit. I said, let me come in, go help with this moving and all this stuff. I said, that's a workout in itself. So, I mean, and like I said, I felt like you guys are real cool. And a lot of times when I used to come and visit, Lauren was my coach a lot of the times. And,
Right.
you know how cool she is. So,
Yeah.
she always made me feel comfortable. So, And all you guys really made me feel comfortable. So, it was like, this is where I need to be at.
That's my first memory of you. I didn't meet you at New Street. I met you when we were pulling a trailer up to move, and you were helping us unload equipment. I'd never met you before. You weren't even a member of the gym, and I think that speaks a lot to your personality and your character, is that you're willing to help people out like that. And we had no relationship at all. Is that something that is important to you? Your ability to help other people without thinking about it, or what does that mean to you?
Growing up, in Miami, you always get teased about, they call it being friendly. And, I always felt like I used to have a chip on my shoulder and not be nice to people or something like that, or you looked at as being friendly or people take advantage of you or something. Then like high school here, and I kind of like backed out of that whole being. But then when I went to college in Kansas, I was like, I'm not going up here. These people going to treat me wrong. Even though, initially I was bored, but like those individuals, I don't think I met anybody. I mean, I probably did meet some mean people, but everybody treated me like family there. And, they took me in, and I just felt the love. And I was like, you know what? It feels good to be loved. And I think it feels even better to like show someone, that you got love for them. So I always try to treat people how I want to be treated. So, I always try to do right by people.
What made you decide to want to be a coach?
I always had this passion for football, of course, but like just an overall just fitness. Because before wanting to be a nurse, I actually wanted to do physical therapy, just in case I didn't make it to, that was my backup plan if I didn't make it, professional football wise, just so I can still be around the sport. When I graduated from nursing school and I was in Miami, I coached Little League football. And it just, I don't know, I always felt like I had this knack to kind of pass on some type of knowledge, And like when that opportunity presented itself for me to become a coach, I was like, hell yeah, shoot, I like fitness, I like, having a close relationship with someone, with like doing physical activity. And even like the bond you build outside of the gym with, some of the individuals, that wants a bond, Hey, princess. Daddy's on the phone. Go check the room. Sorry about that.
You're good, man.
But yeah, it just having that, I don't know if it's like an urge that I just want to, try to teach someone, especially if it's like physical activity. Like I'm always down to try to help someone if I can.
How do you see yourself as a leader in the community? maybe in the gym, maybe as a health professional, maybe as a coach?
I guess by my actions, it speaks a lot. It carries a lot of volume because, I know there's a lot of people like, oh, I know you're going to do great, Eddie. I know, so I think that motivates them to, push a little harder. Because I notice sometimes when I'm working out and I'm thinking I can relax, the person next to me, they going full throttle. I say, oh man, they got me working here. So
They just want to beat Eddie.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, I'm honored that they think highly of me enough to push extra hard. So I guess I lead from that aspect, just with like I said, just with my action. And as a coach, I feel like I can get through to most people. So and then I think they value me as both a coach and then a healthcare individual. They always tend to ask me some healthcare questions.
Sure.
Either about themselves or family members, and just in the household. I mean, my kids they adore me, but they listen to mommy before me.
As far as what you do in the health field, what exactly is your role, and where are you working right now?
So I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm that middle point between the nurse and the doctor. And my role is, to assess patients and come up with a game plan and, treat them and, order tests and do procedures on them and whatnot. I work in the neuro ICU, so I take care of a lot of stroke victims, ischemic versus hemorrhagic strokes. A lot of seizure patients, neuromuscular disease like myasthenia gravis patients, and so forth. And with this new COVID deal, now I'm out of my comfort zone of the neuro patients. Now we're taking care of a lot of patients with this whole respiratory infection, and we deal with the ventilators, but now we're aggressively dealing with ventilated patients. So,
Do you have any new priorities now that you're kind of on the front line of that?
just trying to stay healthy. I've really been trying to key in on getting to sleep because before this it was like I used to come after work out, and then probably get maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep before
Yeah.
waking up and doing it all over again. But now it's like I try to get I increase my sleep anywhere from 6 to 8 hours now, because I'm just thinking like if I try to wake up or try to stay up and do the workout, I might not get enough rest. And I know at
Yeah.
one point I was feeling under the weather, and it was due to one day I didn't get a proper rest.
So maybe just kind of reprioritizing your stress and learning what battles to fight.
Yeah. And I was like not exercising. I'm like, oh man, I'm maintaining right now, but I feel like these past few weeks I could have been a few more pounds lighter.
Is there anything else you do to keep balance in your life?
Play with my kids, man. Just try to enjoy those moments with them, because I know one day I'm gonna be gone from here, and just hoping that I can pass on, some knowledge to them and show them how to, carry on in this world, as a good citizen or whatever.
Are you finding any way to stay engaged with the Move community or any friends here at the gym, or while we're all away from the gym?
I work with two of them, so whenever I see them, we talk, and they just tell me how nervous they are, and I'm like, nah, y'all gonna be great, just trying to encourage them, and and they be telling me about their workouts and stuff, and recently I just posted my video to the Facebook group,
Yep.
and a lot of times I may not be there, but I am looking at everybody else posts, when I'm at work, so like just keeping up that way.
Whenever we post a photo or video of you, it's always one of like the most liked photos we post. And whether that's from people who know you or people who don't know you, I think it comes back to just your personality and your character, and a lot of people love you, and a lot of people want to want to be able to keep up with you, and they cherish you. So how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good, to be around, people that care enough about you to really, share moments with you and everything. When you guys do post something and I see like the likes and the comments, like when I just posted that video and, everybody was really worried about me and everything, it made me, feel good. Like, man, that's a good community to be a part of.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you, man, and thanks for coming on and talking with me here. Anything else you want to leave off with?
Nah, just keep moving, man. That's it.
All right, man. We'll go get some rest, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Later.